welcome to video 2 in our Impossible Alice series. Make sure to go on over and visit the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group and also the Junk Journal Tutorials, Videos, and Projects Facebook group, which is my other group. The links are going to be below the video, and that way you can post your YouTube channels, your YouTube tutorials, pictures of your projects, your Etsy shops, and more. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and if you are, welcome back. So when we left off, we were working on page 2. I'm sorry, we were working on page 1. See, I got my brain thinking ahead that we're going to be on page 2, which we are eventually. But I wanted to show pretty much everything in this one. Then, we won't have to go over, every little detail in the next videos. So what we're going to do is, this is our page. This is our flip out. We need a card. I've decided to go ahead and use this Alice for the card because I really should have used this for the card and something like this for the background, but I didn't. So, we're going to use, or are we using this? No, we're going to use this for the background for the other one. Okay, so now all we have left to do for this part is to make the card. So let's go over how to make a card, fit in one of these, and then we won't have to do that anymore. Whenever you hear me say I'm making the card off camera, then you'll know what I'm doing. Okay, so we want to save this part. We want it to be in this corner. So we're going to put this part in the pocket. We hopefully have not glued shut. Okay. So here's our pocket. I'm going to put it in as far as it's going to go, and then tip it up just a little bit, like so. Mark it inside where the edge of the pocket's going to be, and then cut that edge off. And then cut that edge off, she says confidently. Then if this fits in, we won't have to trim it. Looks like it's going to fit in. I think we could do it just a hair smaller. What's it catching on? Oh, it's catching on the magnet. Oh no. Oh, I see why. Something is sealed shut. There we go. There we go. What happened? Something was glued shut in there. And now I've pulled this off. I pulled it off all right. Now remember, the pocket's at the top. Oh, I see, because it was glued to the acetate, so it popped off easily. So just glue that back down. How did the acetate move? I see what happened. When I put the acetate in and slid it in, then glue oozed out the edge and it glued the pocket shut on the side. Here I thought it was getting caught on the magnet. Now apparently a little bit of the acetate moved during the gluing process. So let's trim that down. Okay. Get that. It's still even with there. We can still see it, but there's no way to trim it completely inside here. Boy, I guess this is how not to do it, isn't it? Okay. So, let's get this card made, and then we'll leave it out while the glue dries. In fact, let's go ahead and set this to the side. I don't want to slide it down in there while it's drying. And we'll do the CD cover while that's drying. Okay? Because I'm doing such a bang-up job. Okay, what we're going to need to do is we need to cut the hole for the front so that the acetate, which such as it is, this is just plastic, shows through and we can use it as a window. So let's measure what we want for the front, which is this. Yeah, we're going to do it for the front and for the inside. I thought we were doing that for the inside, but we're doing that for the back. I'm going to use the top because we're going to make a pocket. Yeah, that'll work. Then that will give us, cutting it straight down, doing the width first, will give us the width for the entire, for the inside and the outside. Okay? So we'll get this one. Remember, the inside one can be smaller, so if it's a little short, which it won't be, we would be okay. Now, most of the time, these are 5 by 5. These come from yeah, Amazon. How can I not be able to think of Amazon? And so they're generic, and so they're not exactly exact. So we want to put the pattern running up and down. And so it doesn't matter which way we cut the hole because it's just a circle. Let's get our die, our circle die. Now, if you put one, we could put one that's wonky, right, around the edge, which is fine. But then you have to make sure to do it a little bit smaller even yet so that when it goes scallops out, you don't end up being able to see this side. And I did, when I inked it, make sure I slid it this way to make sure that I inked this just in case anything bad happens. Then I've got my circle die, which is the next largest one in here. And I'm going to take this piece of paper and we're going to cut a hole in it using the Big Shot, just like we did before. Only this time we're cutting the hole in the paper and not in the entire envelope. So we're going to put this in, put this on. I know it's off camera partially, but there's no other way about it. Then we're going to position this in the center of the paper with the blade facing down, the little bumps facing down. And yes, we're going to end up with a circle-shaped card when we're done, because the back of this paper has been printed on. Now, you don't have to do that. It takes up a lot of ink to print the front and the back. So, I get generic ink for my Epson on Amazon, and instead of paying 50-something for all 3 ink refills, all 3 colors plus the black, I mean, I pay 17, and the ink works just as well. So if you want to know how I do that, make a comment down below and I will tell you. So we've got this circle card that we can use at a later date. Can't use it in this, it'll be too small. And put our die back, and it worked very well. This is a used CD cover, that's why it's got this written on there. It doesn't have anything to do with the die. So let's double check the size and double check the size of the hole. Okay. I'm going to ink this up. Now both of our cards are going to need tabs. I forgot and only made one. I inked the whole thing up and the edges, and I do the inside and the outside just in case I fold it a little wonky. We should have inked the outside of this paper before we cut the hole. It's much easier, as you can see. Now this is kind of floppy. Then after we get this done, maybe I'll just show you how to make the card on this one. Then we will pause and I will get the things I need together for page 2, or we'll jump on to page 3. What I want to do for page 2 requires magnets, and as you saw, I only have 1 and not 2. So I can't get any here any sooner than Saturday, and today is Wednesday, so I can't record that video until I get those magnets. Well, I could, but I don't want to. Because I have what I think is going to be a good idea, as my friend would say, who lives in Maine. Idea. I love her. We do tease her about that a little bit. Okay. She even has an image of a deer. And when she's doing her lives and she says, "I deer," she'll put the deer out there. It's really, really funny. Okay, we're going to put this from the top. Let's, well, we cut this without this being cut. So let's put this on, and then we'll cut the side for a pocket. We should have done it the other way around. Just because then we would have had an edge, you know, that little edge going around. We may still be able to do it. I'm going to draw a thin line around the inside of the circle so it doesn't come loose from the CD cover. I stuck my finger in the glue. Remember, we want, this is the top, we wanted the pattern to run up and down. So let's put this on here. Try to get it as close to where you want it on the first try. You don't want to slide it around too much because you could get the glue that we put around here on the window. We don't want to do that. Okay, so now we're going to cut the side for the pocket. We can't, the only places we can put the pocket is this side or the bottom. Okay, and the reason for that is because this is going to flip up, but it's on a page that opens this way. So you can't have a tab on this side or the page won't open. Always keep that in mind when you're doing things like this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the side for the tab. If I cut just a little bit of the side of the envelope open, that's okay. The lid or this off, that's okay. So I got this. Let's go ahead and we'll touch that up. Just put one little drop of glue right here, and you don't want very much. You don't want to block any part of your pocket. Put that right there. So we've got the front done, except for any embellishments. I usually like to do at least a few pages and kind of see how I think I want the embellishments to look, and then I'll go back and do them, and then you can kind of do them along as you go if you want to. So now this is going to flip up. So in order for it to be right side up, we want to put it on upside down. Of course, Mad Hatter. Put him on upside down. Kind of makes sense if you think about it. So we'll measure him here. And here. We'll cut him out. We're going to cut across first. Try to save as much of him here as possible. It looks like it's going to cut off his fingertips though. Just barely. Let's cut the width. I almost forgot. Okay, that should fit on there. Yeah. You want to make sure to glue this down as far as you can, because you've only got this little strip right here for your glue to catch to glue the pocket shut. And sometimes it's easier to put the glue on this part of it on the plastic. It just depends on how well you think you're gonna do. Let's ink this. I'm glad that I went with the darker color. There's a lot of tan in this. If I'd have gone with the shade lighter, I almost could have gone with gathered twigs. Almost. And after the first page, you know what I mean, I may look at it and do the rest in gathered twigs. I don't think anyone would notice but us, but it would look better. This isn't quite dark enough. I don't know. Not sure what I think. Not sure. I just didn't want to do it too dark and make it look like we were making it grunge, which would have been kind of fun actually. Okay, now where's the top going to be? So this is going to be the bottom, so that's where we need to make sure the glue is very close to the edge. And that's here. We want the glue to be very close to the edge. Okay, put him on this way. It's a little streamers, what I call spider webs coming on. So let's make sure we get this part glued shut. Straighten this up a little bit. So now we've got that. Let's put the inside in first. We want it to run the same way as this. So we're going to cut the size using it sideways. Then we're going to flip it to put it inside. Or do we want to do it the other way and make it a little mind-bending? Let's look and see. We haven't cut this yet, have we? Yes, we did. It's right here. See? Brain is not functioning at all. Alright. Can't really tell because I can't get this quite in. You know, it would be a little topsy-turvy that way, but it would also look like I made a mistake. So I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it at the width, then cut the height, and we'll get this inside put in. My neighbor upstairs is taking a shower. I can hear the water. Oh, apartment life. Why does that look crooked to me? If it is, it isn't by very much, but it still looks crooked. But it's not. Okay. So let's see, we don't need to glue, make this up and down. We don't need to glue this back side, or actually the top or the bottom. All we need to do is glue this front side. Glad I left my phone in the living room. I know you can still hear it though on my computer. So let's slide this in. Looks like we might need to double check our sizing. No, there we go. Now we want to glue it to the back because this is the inside, not the card. We want to glue it to the back so that we don't glue the card shut, or glue our opening shut. So let's do this, and we'll glue the back. I just glued it. No, I didn't. I was like, I just glued it shut. Okay, so this is going to go on like this. Okay. Didn't have it in there quite straight. Now it isn't exactly lined up because we had to trim part of it off to get it to fit in there. Okay, and there's our flip up right there. And then all we need is the card, which I think, since we're doing colors, we need something, oh, maybe with the image in the center. It's in color. Perfect. We'll put Alice right in the center. Now I separated these out because these are ones that you can't really write on. And so I separated them out for the ones that we use for the pages. Okay? And all I did was cut these in half, by the way. If your printer prints a border the exact same size all the way around, mine does not for some reason, then you can just cut the paper exactly in half. If it doesn't, like mine, then you need to, let's see, how do I want to do this? That's not how I want to do it. Let me do it this way. And we can always trim it on this side. Let's get it about the right size to be a card. Oh, we can't do it that way, can we? We need to put Alice in the center. And then cut it about the right size to be a card, which is going to be shorter than we would normally cut it to go inside or to cover the paper or whatever. Is that the center? That's below center. So we're going to need to raise it up just a little bit. This is a better one to show you how to make a card anyway. We want this to end up in the center here when we're done. So we want this to be here, this to be here. It's still off. You want to go this way. We're back at the very first lines we had on there, if you can believe that. And that gives us this as a pocket. That we can use somewhere. And this would make a nice little rose belly band, maybe. Let's see. Use this as the pocket in the back. Let's see if this fits as a card. And if it does, where Alice is. Okay, it's still a little big, so we're going to take a little off the top. Just like we're at the barber shop, we're going to take a little off the top. We're going to try it again. And we're going to have to trim it the same way on either side so that Alice stays in the center. Okay, so you can see we need to cut half of this amount off on the other side and half on this side. So let's start with an 1/8 on either side. Now I'm going to shave just a smidge, like a 1/16 off the top, just to kind of get it to go in and out a little bit easier. Then I'm going to do about an 1/8 from the left, about an 1/8 from the right, and let's see where we are now. You just have to go back and forth and back and forth. There we go, that's much better. Slide in. Okay, she's still in the center pretty much. I'll take another 1/8 each side. So the point is to keep her in the center. Okay, so now all we need is just a tiny bit, and we're going to take it off this side because this side will not move our Alice. We still got some of the clock on there. So this should fit. We want it to be right up to the edge, but not sticking out because we're going to put a tab on it. Perfect. Right in the center. And that be how you do that. But I decided to show you this one. This one's a little more difficult than the rectangular one. Let's go ahead and ink it. I'm going to ink this one front and back because it's a card. Because it's a card. I have no idea what happened to my oxygen there. I ran out of air. I spoke so much I sucked all the air out of the room. This side. Now see, we have the writing because I pulled those 2 pages from the other Alice. I told you what it was in the first video. Because I don't remember what this one is, where this one came from. The other Alice kit. One of the other Alice kits that I have. And I've already inked the tab. You always want to make sure you're putting the tab on the correct side as well. Notice I said correct and not right. Didn't want to be giving you the bad information there. That was not proper English at all, so pretend like I said that correctly. You don't need to slather this with glue. Let's put it in the center. We'll squeeze it on there. Now, if we put it closer to the top, we might be able to put a charm on it. Look real quick. Yes. So if we put the tab up here, and I'll use a glue eraser to get this off, and we'll be able to, once we put it in, what I was checking was we put this card in here with the tab sticking out a little crooked, straight on the paper. Well, it's dry now. Maybe not. Okay. Then it will be above the other pocket, and we should be able to put a charm on it. I'm going to have to order some Alice charms, I realized just now, because I don't have any. Oh, that's still going to be, no, it won't. So we'll be able to put a charm on it because when this is closed, this will stick out. And what we have to do is pull the card out a little bit, and we'll put a hole in that, which we're going to do right now. So when we put it in the pocket, we're just going to leave enough of the tab out to make sure that our charm fits. Now I want to put the charm a little closer to the bottom. Now I realize this video is taking too long. Don't get me wrong, but I want to make sure that we get everything down, and then we oh, the reason I could put it that far down is I'm not going to put an eyelet in it. If I was going to put an eyelet in it, I would need to have done it up just a little bit to have enough room. I don't think I have enough room. Pretty sure I don't. Now that I think of it, I might would have wanted to. It would have been kind of fun all the way through. The only thing I don't like is the back side. Looks so bad with these we are memory keepers. Oh, we do have enough room. Okay, let's do the next size bigger hole. Move that to the eyelet setting. It's going to be close, but we will be able to do it. Okay, so that's on there like that. And this is on there like that. I'm not real wild about the back sides of these. See, that's why I don't use them as much as I used to. But I think it'll give it a nice finished look. We'll put one on the card that sticks up from here. We'll put a tab on it, just like we did this one. And we'll put an eyelet on it. The eyelet on the top one will be in the center of the tab, though. Okay? Alright, so that's it for that. No, it's not. Why, no, it's not. We need to do a couple more things. We need to glue it on. Okay. We'll need to glue it to where it's flush on this side with the paper. So let's put the glue on. And that's the only thing about Fabri-Tac. When it's a little chilly in the room, it takes a little while for it to get going. So we're going to put this on here, the top, and as close to the side as we can. Let's make sure it's lined up. And let's make sure we don't have any glue oozing out. Okay. Let's put our card in. That looks nice. Looks nice. Make sure the card's high up as it'll go in the pocket and as far out as it'll go. And we'll use a bulb pin, which is a pin that looks like this. I'm not going to use gold, I don't think. This is a gold one. And they look like this. I have glue ink all over my fingers. Shows I've been working hard. Or hardly working. I'm just doing a bad job at it. So let's take this and put our pocket on. We want to make the pocket a little bit shorter, but we're going to take it off the top. Let's take that much off. And then I'll take that little sliver of white off. Okay. And then I want it to be as wide as the paper, not the CD. So I'm going to make it this wide. And then I'll make a card for it off camera. Just like I'll finish the card for this off camera now that you've seen me do it on the CD. There's a little pencil mark there still. I'm going to ink it. It's not a hidden pocket or anything, so we're going to ink it on all four sides. So we went into detail on this one so that we won't have to on every other CD and every other envelope that we do, and we can go through it a lot quicker. I got my fingers on the side I don't want to glue. Then I'll check for ephemera first, and if I don't have any ephemera, then I'll make a card out of a scrap and put something on it for ephemera, or for decoration, I mean. Okay. And I cut this so that this decoration was in the corner. That was the way I cut it when I cut the CD out, the paper for the CD out, and when I cut the edge for the pocket out instead of using this end over here. Okay, so let's look at our ephemera real quick. We could almost use the piece we just cut out. Then also have, actually this would be kind of fun. It's the Mad Hatter. No, that's too short. This envelope would fit, I'll bet. Nope, it's too tall. You'll notice I have my ephemera sorted as well because I'm a crazy person. Oh, let's do the card. ink up the card. Then before I glue anything around here, I think I'm going to wait and see first how the pages are going, so I can see what kind of ephemera I'm going to use. There's a lot of ephemera in this kit. There's some I haven't even cut out yet because I would have to do it by hand. I cut out quite a bit by hand as well. Everything the scan and cut wasn't going to cut out. The negative from these die cuts, pretty cool. We got the pattern around. Okay, I'll put this in this pocket. We're not going to put a pocket on the we're not putting a magnet on this because our magnet on here is going to hold it shut. That's what we're relying on. Okay, and we're not putting a pocket on here or a belly band or a side tuck or anything. We're just going to leave our Alice. We're going to have a tab sticking out the top with a charm on it. Then we're going to have this sticking out of here with a charm on it as well. If we can, I hope so. If not, we'll figure out something else since we put the eyelet on there. And so that's going to be it for this page. I'm going to finish this card off camera, and then we'll be ready to go except for the ephemera and gluing it into the book. I've already labeled it as page 1, so we know it goes on the signature where it's labeled 1. So this will go on here, and it will be the first page that you see when you open the book. That's why I left the picture here without any, anything. Okay, so we've only got 10 minutes left, so I'm going to go ahead and call this video, call it long and too much for page 1, 2 videos. But details, the devil's in the details, right? And then we'll zoom through the rest. Okay, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.